Okay, so that's a quick tour of Boothbay Harbor. I was just driving around. I don't know what people want to see. I mean, it's beautiful, but I don't know what you want in terms of information about the place. Is there a lot of places to rent? I don't know. Realtor.com, apartments.com, those are places I would be checking. I want to address one of the comments I got. There's a guy in Florida with 4 kids. Hi. I did read your comment. I read all of my comments, and they said, he was saying that he wants to move up to Maine. I get it. There are a lot of places that you can move to that are going to be much cheaper than states like California. Florida is probably pretty expensive. It's a great place to live because they got a great governor, but you know, I don't pay attention to politics. That's why I don't live in Florida, because even though they got a great governor down in Florida, they got a lot of users, boozers, and losers, all right? Trust me when I tell you, it's not that great. Everybody's like, oh, it's beautiful. They got great weather all the time. They got high humidity, road rage, and I went to the mall once when I was down there back in the 90s, parked my truck way out so it wouldn't get hit by anybody, come out my corner tail light, marker light, you know, the little orange or red plastic corner marker light back there that you have on your, it was a little pickup truck. Anyway, somebody stole it out of my truck because they didn't want to go buy the part or whatever. So they stole it. They went to the mall, shopped around. Oh, there's a truck like mine. Took the part. Cost me $45 to replace the marker light. Yeah, I was a little annoyed. What are you going to do? That's how it is down there. So don't think it's all that great. There's people getting shot in Miami on the road. You cut somebody off, next thing you know, the guy's shooting at you. It's not as great as everybody makes it out to be. Florida is not that great. And if you like racism, go to Florida. Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, all them states down there, that's where all the real racism is. I know, I lived in Georgia when I was at Fort Stewart, okay? And there's reverse racism. There's a lot of it. There's probably racist white people down there for sure, but obviously they're not going to show that to me because I'm white, right? But the black people that are from there, yeah, I've dealt with them in the Army, and you know, they give themselves away. They say stuff like, I bet you told Sergeant so-and-so bring his black whatever up there. And I'm the type of person who never uses adjectives of color to describe people or to tell people anything. So right there, that kind of gives people away. I actually made a soldier feel ashamed that he said what he said, because I never talk that way. I grew up here. We're too busy to worry about color, all right? Nobody's worried about color. Nobody's worried about adjectives of color, okay? People are busy. They're working. Well, some of us are. Others are out doing whatever, collecting a check from the state. But last week I was almost done with the post office. I was almost going to throw in the towel. And it's not so much that I don't like the post office. Not at all. There was so much mail, and then we got people taking time off. I get it. People want to have a life. But some of these people have been taking advantage. They've had more time off this year. I haven't had but one day off this year. And that's from last year. Back in October, November, December, I didn't have any days off except for the holidays that were awarded by the post office, right? Obviously. But other than that, there was a carrier that I was doing his route, and he's taking all kinds of time off. His route's killing me. I told the boss, I said, hey, you know what? I don't think it's fair. The new guy, the part-time help has to do the busiest day of the week on his route. And he has about, I don't know, 650, 700 customers. They get tons of Amazon. They're talking about going to Amazon Sundays at the post office now because there's so much mail. So yeah, I'm not working 7 days a week, not for what they're paying. They pay $19.06 an hour if you're thinking about the post office. They do need help, so if you need a job bad and you want to move up here, that's a good place to go. Post office, UPS. UPS pays time and a half after 8 hours. You're like, oh, and you're not delivering mail and packages, you're just doing packages. So I'm actually considering going to UPS. If one of these clowns pulls another one of these stunts, oh, I'm taking off of this or whatever or that, or oh, I'm done. I'm gassed. If they can't keep me on my route, which is the Ox route, which is really small, I just don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't join the post office to get a full-time career. When I moved here, I didn't have a job. All right? I'm living off my military retirement and VA money, and that's it. And I didn't have a job. I went to work at the post office because one of our local carriers told me they were hurting so bad they can't get any young kids to work. So I joined the post office to do that. If you're moving up here and you need a job, it's a lengthy process to get into the post office. It's also lengthy to get in the UPS. But once you get in, I mean, you're in. You're good. I think the UPS guys do the same thing the post office says. They're going to send you to New Hampshire for school for a week. They pay for the hotel and all that, and they give you per diem. I think I got like $300 or something for the per diem. They paid for the hotel. I didn't have to pay out of pocket for that. They paid for it. It was they book it, they schedule it. You just tell them which hotel. They'll give you a list of like 4 or 5 different ones. I want to run this girl over. They'll give you a list of 4 or 5 different ones. You pick a hotel. I picked the one closest to it's still, you know, like a couple miles up the road, but the closest hotel to it. You don't want to drive half an hour to school every morning. Anyway, I did that, completed it, came up here, started working the post office, made like $5,200 over Christmas because there was so much packages to run. I was getting the hours in. And of course, I was in training because I was new, so I could work whatever they were training me on a route, plus let me do the packages, package runs. And I'll probably make something close to that this Christmas because they have a lot of packages. There's a lot of Amazon. People are utilizing Amazon like crazy, especially when your local grocery store, like Shaw's, which honestly, they're not the best place to shop, and quite honestly, I'm so annoyed with them. They price gouge. I'll tell you, a Red Bull can at Shaw's, everybody else was charging $2.69 for this. Shaw's, up there's a whole $1, $3.69 for a 12-ounce can. Really? And I don't know what they're doing with the money because they aren't improving the store. It must be going to some bonus check for the management or something. Oh, the little corporate, what do you call it? Corporate pet, like the teacher's pet. Oh, you kiss the butt, you get a bonus check at the end of the year. Something's going on, but they're gouging people. And you say, yeah, they're gouging people all over, right? I get it, but they're ridiculous. Everyone else's prices are the same. Shaw's is higher. So I don't recommend Shaw's. I do recommend you check the Dollar General and those dollar stores for some of the same products that you normally buy at Shaw's. You'll find them like half off, like half the price. And they also have liquidation stuff. I just bought 2 big bath towels for $3 each, and they're normally $6.95 a bath towel, and they're big, long. You know, it's high quality. And I was like, it was on the discount table. I was like, brand new towels. I was like, yeah, I'll take those. Shoot, $6 for 2 big towels. I already had some gray ones. They matched those. I was like, oh yeah. If you're moving up here, like I said, you've got to do your homework. There's a lot of people that are, you know, commenting, oh, we're not going to be able to get a house now. And I read something on Facebook yesterday, and some couple, they had a house, they were renting, and then the guy decided to sell it out from underneath and gave them 30 days to get out. All right? That's not right, but it happens. Also, you've had people like, well, I'll give you their specific example. They had a house, they were renting. The rug got pulled out from underneath them because they had to move out in 30 days. They secured another house, and then the same thing happened again. Right as soon as they started getting stuff moved in, that guy decided, oh, you know what? I can make a ton more money if I just sell. So that's what he did. And so they're struggling to find a home right now. They also have 4 children. So I don't, you know, I feel bad for them, but I don't, I'm not surprised by, you know, what's going on in the economy, because everybody's leaving the big major cities, those who have a brain still, those who aren't zombified by one political party. And that's another thing. I don't follow politics. I don't really care about politics. I just live my life, okay? Yeah, I keep abreast of what's going on because they're always trying to take something from us. The World Health Organization, I think, is the newest thing. They're trying to, Joe Biden and them were trying to sneak them superpowers so they could tell this nation to, oh, America, take these meds or we're locking you down. So they're working on that. They got caught or something. They're going to try it again in 2023. Anyway, keep checking on the World Health Organization if you can do anything with your senator or congressperson, if you're one of those people that's into that. I've never called my congressperson, even when I was in the Army. Never bothered with those people, because to me they're all the same. They're all corrupt. They all say one thing to get elected and then do the opposite. Whatever the corporate guy is going to put money in their pocket, they do what those guys say, and they ignore you. They just lie to your face. If you like being lied to, you might want to become a parole officer up here. That's a professional liar's job, right? You sit there and the guy said, "Hey, did you find a job this week?" "Oh yeah, I found it. I was looking for jobs this week." Yeah. "Are you touching drugs? Are you hanging out with the people that you shouldn't be?" "Oh no, not me." Right? The guy's lying through his teeth. That's what a parole officer job is. You sit there and you listen to people lie to your face daily. I couldn't do it, but some of you might. If you like politicians, that might be a great job for you. A nice transition. As far as availability of homes, like I said, you have to be diligent, and you can't steal in slow motion. You gotta jump on stuff. I got my house during the height of the pandemic, when everybody was dazed and confused and didn't know which way was up. I still was continuing on with my life, and I got my house. And I got it for a good price. Because right now, if I decided to do some stuff like put some of those nice shaker shingles on the garage and the house, match it up, you know what I'm saying, make it real pretty, like a seacoast dream, and turn around and flip it to some idiot from Connecticut for $800,000. And I'm not saying that to be facetious or to be crass. People aren't idiots from Connecticut. They obviously have more money than the people in Maine. But, you know, a lot of people come over, "Oh, it's so beautiful, I'll take it." It's only how much? Right? Because $800,000 here is nothing compared to houses down in Connecticut, New Jersey, California, you know, even some parts of Florida. It's ridiculous. I saw an old folks home down in Florida that somebody was selling, $1.2 million. I was like, what? It's like 1,200 square feet. I don't care if it's near the water. I ain't paying $1.2 million. They're paying all the taxes, these old people. That's why I was just like, So you've got to really look. You're not going to get anything near the water unless you got lots of money. So just keep that in mind, all right? And I would look further north. I understand a lot of people I don't want to live in a real small town and they got nothing going on. I got to drive miles to do stuff. You have to decide what's best for you. Right now, I'm tracking my friend Brian. Remember when the very first video I did where I was talking about leaving Texas, and that's the one I filmed in front of the Texas house, and I pointed down the road to Brian's gray Dodge Hemi. There's a ton of those. It's the same dark gray paint. Anyway, Brian had bought his house as an investment because he saw the same thing happen in San Jose, and he knew it was going to happen in Austin. And sure enough, all the big corporations are coming in Austin. They're also going to put a big train loop or something around Austin that the people don't want, but the corporations are forcing it in there, right? "Oh, we'll give you money for this, we'll give you money for that," right? "Let us build this thing," right? So yeah, they brought jobs and stuff like that. Got it. But they're also doing stuff that people don't want. Brian is sick of Texas. He's going back to California. I'm following Brian's progress because it's easy to move from California, because you can sell a house out there that's nothing and get like 700, 800, $1 million, and then come over to Texas and pay $350,000 for something that's bigger and nicer and on some land. So Brian's trying to go back to California. He's going to the southern part of California, not back to San Jose, but someplace on the outskirts, like way on the outskirts in the countryside. It's like an hour from there. His brother-in-law lives in a town out there that they're looking at houses in. And his brother-in-law said he could stay in his log cabin or whatever up in the woods, up in the mountains. He has a cabin up there until they find a place. But Brian's just got his house locked up for $700,000. I sold my house in Texas for $332,500. If I'd have stuck it out, I could have got way more, but I would have missed a house up here. So like I said, you gotta move. You can't steal in slow motion. You gotta move. If you see something, you want it, go get it. Don't waste time waiting for the right opportunity. If you can lock something up, do it. I really don't want to talk about rentals. Namely because I'm not a renter, I'm a homeowner. And there's a reason for that. No one's going to pull the rug out from underneath me. You might find a rental up here. There's tons of summer rentals, but there's like $1,000 a week or something. It might be more now. I don't know. That's what the going rate used to be. It might be $1,500, $2,000 a week. Who knows? Airbnb, everything, right? But the only problem with that is it's unstable, because like I said, you could be in there, next thing you know, the guy wants to sell the place, pull the renter out, now you're homeless. That's the whole reason why I decided I would buy a home. We didn't want to ever have that happen to us, and I'm like, And I wanted land. So I got the perfect combination at the right time, and so I jumped on it, and that's what you need to do. And like I said, my property's already appreciated. I've got over $100,000 in equity already, just from buying it, because the market swelled. And it's going to stay like this for quite a while, because people are leaving New York City, LA, all these other places. They're leaving these cities. They're moving to countrysides. They're moving to Texas. They're blowing that up. Brian's leaving Texas because he hates it. Number one, unless you like hot summers, because there's right now they've had I think the past 2 months been over 100 degrees every day, which means what? A high AC bill. But if you like that and you like pollen, because Austin is the allergy capital of the world. I had allergies there. Allergies, I don't have any here, and here in Maine. Brian went back home to visit some buddies of his. Allergies cleared right up. As soon as he got off the plane in Austin, when he came back, stuff right back up again. So he hates it there. He felt like he's been a prisoner in his house, because there isn't much to do there. And yeah, people are leaving California. They're moving to Texas in droves. He even got a deal on the moving thing, because the mover said, hey, since our truck can come back to California full instead of empty, he said, we'll cut you a break on the price. So instead of spending $10,000, he's spending like $5,000 or something like that for the moves to come back. So he's really excited. He got that deal. He sold a bunch of crap in a yard sale like I did, so he's got like $800 for gas for both vehicles to drive back. That may not be enough, but it's definitely better than nothing. And by no means is Brian hurting, because he sold a house originally, or a small condo or something, for 1,200. It was 1,200 square feet or something like that, for like 650 or 650,000 in California. And he paid cash for the house in Georgetown, which I think was $350 at the time, something like that. And it had a pool and everything. And now he's selling the same house that he owns outright for $700,000. He's probably going to leave there after commissions, probably with $630, $640, whatever, $650. But he's going out there to buy a house in California, and just stay. That's where he's from. He's realized that's what that's where he wants to be. And that's what I'm saying to people. Don't move someplace just because you think the grass is greener. All right. If you're happy in your state where you're at, stay in your state. If you have a lot of family, a lot of relatives, remember, if you move to someplace, I have family here. I moved back home because I have family here. A lot of people want to move here because they visited here once before. It was on their bucket list. Maybe you want to come for a visit. But don't necessarily pick up and move everybody unless you're absolutely certain that that's going to be the right move for you. Because I'd hate for you to get up here and then you're like, oh, I have no family. I work a lot. I don't have time to do a lot. It's a headache. I just got some fishing poles. I want to take the boys fishing, but I got to find time to do it. And last week I had to work somebody else's route all week long, and they have a bigger route, way bigger route than mine, and it took me a lot longer. I'm not fast, and I'm not going to be fast. That's the bottom line. So what I'm saying is, you have to be able to pick your battles. All right, don't make your wife angry, for one, if she's not 100% on board. You really have to have a game plan. Don't just jump, go there for a visit. Make certain that's what you really want. Now is the time to come up and do a visit. Take a cheap flight. Keep looking for the cheap flights that they got going on. They have deals almost every week. And just go up here, spend a weekend, go around, look at some stuff, talk to some realtors, talk to some people there. Find a really good realtor who's willing to go and use their cell phone and do some video or a live duo chat on the Android phone or the iPhone, iChat or whatever, and so you can see houses from where you're at. You know, some of them have that three-dimensional camera stuff that they do, right? On Realtor.com, you can walk through the house with a but I prefer the realtor to use the phone, excuse me, and walk through, showing me the house. Hey, I can say, turn left, what's that right there? What's this? If, you know what I'm saying? Then you get to see more of the house in real time, up to date. You don't know how long ago they did. That might have been from the previous seller. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust stuff like that. I'd rather have a realtor that walked through and use their phone to take and do that. If you find somebody who's that cooperative, that's the realtor for you. All right? And also find out how many years experience they got. You don't want somebody naive, somebody brand new. You want somebody who's been a realtor for a while and they keep up with the things, the changes that are going on in the industry, right? They pass new laws and stuff. You want to make certain that you've got a realtor that keeps up with stuff, so you don't get into trouble. Okay. I think it's very possible for that guy in Florida to move up here, but you're going to have to really plan things out. You need to come for a visit. Don't just assume that, yeah, it's going to be great and I'll just jump. I wouldn't do that. I would make certain that you take the time and you be absolutely certain this is what you want to do. Especially if you don't have any family or relatives or anybody up here. You want to make certain it's where you want to be. I personally wouldn't move to Florida. I've lived in Florida before, but I wouldn't move back there for all the money in the world. I don't care about the beaches. I don't care about any of that crap. It's all hype anyway. Anytime anybody says stuff on there, it's all hype. That stuff gets old. I lived in Florida. I didn't go to the beach as much as I thought I would when I lived there. Mainly because you're what? You're busy. You're earning a living. You're out doing your thing, right? And you begin to take stuff for granted, like the beaches. And I was like, why do I live here? I don't even go to the dang beach, right? So that's one of those things that you have to keep in mind. Let's say you do Amazon. If you do an Amazon business, right? And you sell stuff. So yeah, I'm a drop shipper or whatever. I sell my stuff on Amazon. I do Amazon FBA, right? And that's how you earn your living. You can do that from here, but you need to find out the rules. I think there's like a tax. I think Maine taxes those type of people for like shipping, stuff like that. It's a business, but you got to have to look into that to make certain that it's not going to cut into your profit margin. But a lot of people are ordering Amazon. That much I do know. If, as an Amazon FBA shipper, you can use UPS or FedEx to ship your product, I would do that, because I work for the post office and they're not the most accurate. They are slow. We're getting hammered by mail and packages every Monday, and we have a lot of mix-ups. There are, especially if streets are similar name. All right, it happens, and it's just how it is. It's not done intentionally. You got an aging workforce, me and other people, their eyes aren't so good. I bought me a pair of readers to help me with the smaller print so I don't mislabel packages. But one of the guys doesn't want to do that. I got him a pair of readers. I said, you need to start using those, because you're making it hard on me. When I put a package in there, then they come back to me later saying it was the wrong address. I didn't label it. The other guy did. So, and I don't have time to check all the stuff. I can't double check stuff. I've got to get the mail processed, cased, pulled down, labeled all the packages, and get out to the street, and so I can get done, because you got a lot of customers. You know, think about it. How much time do you have to stop at a mailbox, right? 3 to 5 seconds, and you got to haul butt. Get on to the next one, and next one, and next one. Keep going. Somebody's got a big package, memory foam mattress or whatever, a big box of dog food, right? You got to get out of the truck. You got to walk to the house. You got to take and drop that off, come back. All this stuff factors in. I mean, it just eats your time up, and it leaves you tired when you got to hustle. So I wouldn't use the United States Postal Service to ship any of my goods and services to my customers, because let's face it, they're gonna be the slowest route. I would rather pay more and make certain my product gets there than go the cheapest route and then have it get mixed up and the customer didn't get it, and now they're getting it for free. So what I'm saying is, yeah, I work for the post office, but they're costing you money if you're an Amazon shipper, all right? I wouldn't waste my time doing it that way. They're talking about going to Amazon Sundays here in Wisconsin, which is a really small post office. They have it in Augusta. So if you move up here and you move a little, let's say you move to Sydney, a little north of Augusta, it's kind of more countryside. I deliver mail out there. It's pretty rural, remote. They didn't have mail for 4 days this past Christmas because they didn't have enough carriers in Augusta. But if you move up that way, the nice thing about being out there is they have Amazon Sundays, so you can still get your stuff delivered on Sundays up there because it's a bigger post office and they have so much Amazon, they have to do that. They're talking about doing it down here in Wisconsin because we're getting so much. Mondays are killing us, so they're talking about going to Amazon Sundays and all the smaller post offices just so we can get it all out on Sunday and there's less mail on Monday, less packages. There's going to always be mail. But yeah, if you're an Amazon seller, I wouldn't waste my time with the United States Post Office. They're just going to cost you money. And ultimately, after you've given so much stuff away for free because they didn't get it on time or, you know, it got lost, you're going to wind up just saying, you know what, I'm not doing this no more, and you're going to lose interest. And if that's your livelihood, that's bad. So I wouldn't do that. There are a lot of, what do you call it? Service industry jobs, waiters, waitresses, all that good stuff. There are a lot of those jobs. I gotta go left. Oh, that's right. Oh, I forgot about this. Yeah, they don't let you go that way. I have to turn around and then do it again. There are a lot of service industry jobs up here. If you're into being a food server, a bartender, what have you, you'll find jobs like that. There are a lot. A lot of these young people, they don't want to work. They're getting checks sent to them every single month. They just did another stimulus check yesterday for $850. I know because I put them in people's boxes, and they don't realize what's happening. They don't realize the government. This administration is getting you hooked on government money so that when it dries up, you'll do what they say if you want to eat. And you won't be able to get a job when the money dries up because everybody who hasn't worked will be killing themselves to get a job at McDonald's, right? Because you don't have current work experience. Once the initial flux of people rush to get a job, then the shift in power goes back to the employer. It's going to go back to the employers, right? Right now, it's good for us as employees because, you know, they can't hire anybody. So basically, they're not going to take and do anything to really annoy you or piss you off because they can't afford you to quit, and they're not going to fire you because they need everybody they can get, right? Once they get over that hump, though, once the money starts drying up and people, the smart ones, realize, oh my God, I better get a job, there's going to be a wave, right? If you're not part of that first wave getting a job, you're going to be hurting after everybody's flown back into the marketplace there and starts working. There's not going to be very many jobs left. And if you don't have any work experience or you don't have anything to offer, you're going to have to go back to the resume and all that other stuff, and you're going to have to do the song and dance in order, hire me, please, you know. So it's going to bite him in the butt. One of the comments that annoyed me on that Facebook post that somebody made in the comments about that couple that had the 4 children and they got booted out of their house was that they're like, it's terrible. People are moving up here they're driving the real estate prices up. I don't know what our young people are going to do. I don't care what our young people are going to do, simply because most of them don't want to work right now. They don't want to help the post office out or anybody else. So why should I care about them? They don't care if I get mail. They don't want to go to work. They'd rather sit at home. Oh, I make more money on unemployment. Well, it's not free money. All it's doing is creating inflation every time they print more money. So you want to stop inflation? Stop them from printing money. The bad thing is they're like, oh, I don't know what these kids are going to do to get a house. They're not. They're going to be renters, permanent renters, because you've got to have a work history in order to get a loan. You've got to have credit in order to get a loan. Excuse me. Most of them are using debit cards instead of a credit card. If you don't have good credit right now, why are you using a debit card? Use a credit card. Credit cards belong to the bank. If your credit card gets compromised, you're not responsible for the money that's spent on it. If your debit card gets compromised, you are responsible. You want to get good credit right now? Get a credit card and use it to pay all your bills. Pay your monthly bills with it and take your check that goes into your bank account, transfer the money over, and make one large payment to pay what you normally spend on your electric, your phone, all the other crap. You just put that all in one big cycle, right? You pay all that stuff with your credit card, you get the credit card bill, you pay it off, right? With the money that's in the checking account. That way, you're building credit. It's revolving every single month. Your credit score goes through the ceiling. So when you do decide to buy, you'll be ready to buy. I know some of you are saying, oh, but I don't have a down payment. Oh, I don't have a down payment. Well, how am I going to buy a house? You're going to have to figure that one out. Either join the military, join the Coast Guard or something, so you can get a veteran's loan with no money down, which takes up to 90 days here. Get a teacher's loan, a FHA loan. Find a loan that doesn't require a large down payment. It's the only other option you got. Or find someone who's a for sale by owner, and you got to be careful with that. Make sure you use a lawyer if you're going to do a for sale by owner, so they can write up the contract and make it ironclad, so that somebody's not going to dump you on your head. I'm not saying that find somebody that's going to take payments. I mean, that would be nice, but you're not going to find many who are going to do that. But find somebody who's willing to sell to you without a down payment. If you can get a loan without a down payment, that's on the bank, right? A credit union, they're better than banks when it comes to stuff like that. You can go that route. But just keep in mind, it's not going to be easy if you don't have any money saved up. People want it now. That's the problem. This isn't Burger King. This isn't McDonald's. You can't have it your way. If you're not prepared to jump and make that transition, if you don't have a house already that you can get equity from, and you know, like, you have equity in it, and that equity can be transformed into a down payment on another place, I don't see how you're going to do it. The days of no money down real estate kind of gone, you know, and that's mainly because of the big squeeze. People are getting squeezed out of cities and they're coming here. So you got to do what's going to be best for you, but you got to be smart about it. As far as rental places, like I said, be very wary. I guess if you're going to rent, I would look further north in the smaller towns, the really rinky-dink small towns. And I'm talking like north of Augusta, or somewhere's up 27 off of where I live. Go up that way to Dresden and all them other, what's the next town up there? Palmyra or something like that. All them areas up in there. Any of the small towns, Washington, all them really small towns. I mean, so small that when you drive through the town square, if you blink, you'll miss it. You want a small town because that way, no one's in a hurry to sell. No one's in a hurry to take and boot you out. You stand a better chance of not getting the rug pulled out from underneath you, and that's ultimately what it's coming down to. If you're hardcore and you don't have any children, get a camper, get an Airstream, or get a camper type thing there, and rough it. That's find a campsite up here, buy a piece of land, have a telephone pole put out there with a power connection, hook it up. They got those portable tow behind potty trailers that you can hook up and collect the crap in, and then drive it off to wherever the recycle place is. I just delivered a couple of those Rhino pack. They're portable trailers for hooking up to the waste, it's a portable waste tank, and that you can hook up to your car and you can tow behind it and then take it to wherever. Or get your porta potty delivered and have somebody come out and suck it clean once a week, whatever. I'm just saying that's hardcore, but I mean, it's very possible. And while you develop your land, while you get your little house foundation in and your septic and your well and all that good stuff, you can do it little by little. You can work and improve it every there's people that do it all the time. And you can, matter of fact, I'll take a look today at that Timberframe down by on Westport Island, the one I showed you before when I was talking about the different structures. He's actually started to work on it, so he must have saved up some more money. He's actually started to put stuff on it. He did some framing to it. I think it's like Timberframe beams I saw the last time I drove by. I'll go take a look at that. Also, the house that was on Hodge Road, that guy looks like he's starting to rebuild the entire house. I mean, he raised up, remember they jacked it up and they put the foundation in? Turns out he did the house in front of that one, the blue one, and I'll show you that. So let me get this breakfast here at the bakery, and then I'll go over there and I'll show you that. All right, so let me sign off for right now because the battery's almost dead on this GoPro, and then I'll show you some more of these structures that I was talking about earlier, so that you can kind of get a general idea. And the guy that jacked that house up, by the way, it cost way more than $10,000. It's probably like 25 grand. But now he's ripped off a lot of the outside clapboard siding, and it looks as if he's redoing the entire structure. I don't think that's authorized, but whatever. If nobody from the town's over there, you know, sticking their nose in, people are going to do what they're going to do. Bottom line. So let me go ahead and sign off for now, and then we'll get back here in just a few minutes. All right. So I guess if you're looking behind me, you can see that it looks like they're redoing the whole house. As I said before, he did that other foundation over there in the blue house. That guy, the same guy that's doing this house, did the foundation over there in that house. Let's go take a closer look. It looks like he's starting to redo some of the structure. Got some foam. That's where they jacked it up. They're doing a lot more construction inside. Looks like they're redoing the flooring, resupporting it, rebracing it. The whole structure is being redone for the most part. But there's a sill plate. I saw him the other day. I delivered him a package. Handed it to him up there on the ladder. So as you can see, he's got quite a bit of work ahead of him still. And it looks like they're redoing the entire structure. But this is the progress he's made on it. And it was way more than 10 grand, like I said, to jack it up. Probably about 25,000 or more. All right, we'll take a look at the other structure that I was showing you in the last video and see how the progress is on that. All right. All right, here we are, take two. I told you I'd come back to the Timberframe. Here it is. I was here earlier. Sun was much brighter, but it's actually golden hour where it's nice and light. The colors are more rich. And then what I had talked about earlier in the first take was the set panels that he's got here. They're beveled on the edges. If you look at the top up here, you can see how they fit together to the point, right? Even the roof panels, see how the panels go up and they're beveled like that? So it meets with the roof exactly. They have those nice little bevels on them, just like this. They come pre-cut like that. And they also have the little slots for the splines. There's little slots down here. I'll try and show you it. There's a little slot down here, right in here. It's like a spline, and they put a piece of wood in there to screw it into the frame. So you have your frame, And as you can see, this was all done in a workshop and really well done. He's got the subfloor that they put together was like 2x10s, I guess it is. And then you see how it fits together up there. I don't have a zoom on this, it's a GoPro, but you can see how it's notched. That beam is sitting on this right here, about an inch in at an angle. And then you see all the way up where it goes up, and then you see the 2x8s on the, or 2x6 I should say, on the second floor and third floor. So that's like a loft up there. And the sheetrock has already been installed. You probably couldn't hear a word I just said because I have the other microphone on. But what I was saying was you have the 2x6s, right? You've got the sheetrock installed already. The sheetrock is right here. All you got to do is tape it, right? Paint it, you're good. And then you have the SIPs that sit over. There's a board under there. I'll show you down here. But there's a board that these panels just sit on. So you got your sill plate, and then you have a board on top of that, which is right under there. Let me see, right here. And so basically, your SIPs are going to go right here. You have the slots for the other pieces, the other panels to slide down in next to it, fit nice and tight like a glove. But you can see you got this board right here that the panels just sit down on, and then you can screw into this, screw into that, screw into that, screw into that, and they're really long screws. So it goes all the way through the panel and connects to the beam, into the thing there. There's a whole bunch, see them? So it attaches along the structure, so it's nice and solid. And then you wrap it in your house wrap and stuff, airtight. Once again, they did some sort of Fox block type panel here. It's just styrofoam, and it's interlocking. They have little ridges right in here. They interlock. They got little tiny ridges, and they just interlock, and they stack up like Legos. They pump the cement in. You put in your lag bolts, and then you put your sill plate on, and then your top plate for your SIPs. And this was the downstairs. See how the beams are kind of chamfered a little bit? Got a nice little chamfer going on them. That sits right on top of this. He's got pressure treated underneath though, so that no moisture gets to him. They probably do something else down here. There is a little bit of water in the corner. And I remember I said that I think that the stone's going to bleed, it's going to leak. I was right. The water comes through the granite and it's starting to get in here, but I'm sure they probably got a fix for that, or it's probably not that big of a deal. I don't know what the plan is. It might be they might use this for the mechanicals down here and storage. It may not be, or it might be a downstairs room. I have no idea. We'll have to talk to him, see what the owner's going to do. And then you look up here, and of course you see the beautiful structure, right? Dun dun dun. I gotta adjust this camera a little bit. But look up there at that structure. Isn't that beautiful? What a sight, huh? And it's going to be overlooking that right there. I mean, they may cut a few more trees down in the front right here, just so they might cut a few of these trees down right here just so they can have a better view. I don't know. That's the public boat launch down there, and then the bay's that way. But you're still near the water. You still smell the fresh salt air every morning. It's nice. And like I said, and it looks like there's some work going on over here for the septic. It looks like he's getting his septic and his leach field. So they're doing some of that right there. And then they've got the rest of these to wrap the house and to go all the way around. So, and this is built by the Shelter Institute. Raoul, not Raymond, I think I said Raymond earlier. Raoul, Pat's oldest son. He does the building for the Shelter Institute. He's the builder for the company, for that part of the family business. So he builds all the timber frame houses. His company's called Bungalow in a Box. if I get a chance to come down here Tuesday, I will see Raoul and ask him, hey, what's a good contact number for you, or what's a good email, what have you. Because people are asking me, they're like, hey, I tried to contact Raoul from Bungalow in a Box and I couldn't get him. And I'm like, okay, he's on Instagram, try message him there. Sometimes he posts pictures there. If I see him, I'll say, hey, what's a good number to reach you at, so people can call and they want to know pricing and all this other stuff. And I'll ask him about this structure and ask him what ballpark figure, I'm not nosy, just a ballpark figure, what would that structure cost if you wanted to build something like that. All right, and then you'll have a better idea of whether or not you're going to pay somebody to do it, or whether or not you're going to learn how to do it yourself.